want to get into this clip. It's something I've been saying for a few months now, and it's wholeheartedly true, like, unfortunately. It's just the way it is.
People tend to see the world in a binary way where it's like, oh, you're against the war with Iran, which means that you must be supportive of the IRGC. I don't loathe the IRGC. I also am a big believer in religious freedom, right? And so the IRGC, they're very conservative, kind of hardliners when it comes to, their interpretation of the Muslim religion. So do I think human rights abuses happen? Of course, but human rights abuses also happen here in the United States on a daily basis, and no one's talking about invading us and overthrowing our government. By the way, we're talking about Shia Muslims, Chet. In Lebanon, in Palestine, they're Sunni Muslims. Isn't it insane that Shia Muslims are the only ones in that region defending the Sunnis?
It is very strange. In the past, we've said, okay, Gaza's under attack, and you have a bunch of Palestinians who are being massacred by the Israelis.
Yep.
Where are the Jordanians? Where are the Saudis? Where is UAE? Where are all the...
Israel did a great job ensuring that they have weak, pathetic governments in these countries that either do the bidding of Israel or they don't challenge Israeli aggression. That's what we're seeing in Lebanon right now. What's happening in Lebanon right now is a disgrace. How many, by the way, I don't care if we're talking about Muslim civilians or Christian civilians or atheist civilians. Civilians are civilians in my eyes. They're people, innocent people. Yeah. But a lot of Americans have been brainwashed into thinking, by the Israelis, by the way, that's the source of all this propaganda, that like, ooh, you got to be really scared of the Muslims. The Muslims are so dangerous. I mean, I don't see a Muslim country sucking up our resources, forcing us into debt, forcing our soldiers into fighting their wars for them. That's Israel. But okay, putting that aside, people have been brainwashed into thinking like our number one threat is Muslims. In the United States, Muslims are a tiny, I don't want to say irrelevant, but they're a tiny population of people who have no power.
Just like they say, not every Muslim's a terrorist, but every terrorist is a Muslim. And that's been embedded in us, right?
Yes, in America, that's the propaganda, in my opinion. No terrorist worse than the Israelis exists.
And I just have to say, and this is something I've tried and trying to search for the answer, and I've said it before, since the Islamic Revolution in Iran in 1979, well, we're on 27 years later. Sorry, 47. 46 years? Yes. 47. Name one country Iran have attacked preemptively. Yes, there's been a war with Iraq. We funded Saddam Hussein. We gave him chemical weapons. The Iranians did not respond with chemical weapons because they said it was un-Islamic, like this fatwa that Ayatollah Khamenei, peace be upon him, had in place. Nukes are un-Islamic. And then 2, name me one Shia extremist terror attack on the West since 1979. One.
I'm sorry, but like, they've trained dogs to rape Palestinian hostages?
No.
100%. The New York Times, of all places, like Zionist Publication 101, recently publicized a story about that. Trump sometimes he has good instincts, but at the end of the day, he's not an intellectually curious person. So he views all Muslims as the same, right? So it's amazing because like there's Muslim extremism in Saudi Arabia, but he like turns a blind eye to that.
The Wahhabis? There's been plenty of Wahhabi. Bin Laden, who started Al-Qaeda, who, by the way, was funded by ISI, the Pakistani intelligence, who also were funded by the CIA. It was all right pumping money into him while he was killing other Muslims and Afghanis. That was okay. But once they bombed the embassy in Pakistan, I think, or maybe Iraq, in the 80s, when George Tenet was the head of the CIA in Islamabad, then no. He's a bad guy now. But they're Wahhabis. Yes, they're all Wahhabi extremists, 100%.
And pretends as though Iran is so much worse. There's a form of Muslim religion called Wahhabism, which is practiced in Saudi Arabia, which is far more extreme than anything the IRGC practices. Saudi Arabia is a huge oil producer that, you know, on the down low, had friendly relations with Israel. Israel controls us. And I mean that with my whole chest. Israel controls the United States. People who are suffering from addiction or mental health issues, if they have family that can pay for that concierge service, great. But most people can't. Most people don't even, I mean, most health insurance does not cover that. And a lot of Americans don't even have health insurance to begin with, right?
But it's all that's the thing. It's all intentional, though. That's our,
no, of course.
We have the money to give everybody.
I mean, we
health
got to save that
insurance.
money for Israel. We got to fight their wars. You know, we
But
got to kill some
you don't think
Muslim children.
now
India's done because Narendra Modi has decided to align
has
with
he
Israel.
has he bowed down as well? Yes.
Narendra Modi, though, is unfortunately motivated by his like hatred for Muslims. So he thinks like, oh, the Israelis are my friends. You'll see, homeboy.
And this is the thing, like, we have been spoon-fed Hasbara. If you don't know what that is, look it up, please. The Hasbara, vilifying, since Desert Storm, since the 90s, vilifying the Muslim population. Telling us in the West, and I believed it up until, unfortunately, it took October 7th for a lot of people to wake up. We believe that if anyone supported the Quran, they were terrorists and they had to chop your head off if you didn't convert. That's what I believed. And since I've been going to the mosque, the Shia mosque in Newcastle, it couldn't be further from the truth. Morals, ethics, doing the right thing, standing for the oppressed. That is why they're standing for Lebanon and Palestine. When all the other Muslim countries turn away, it is because they are Shia. It's honestly, we've got this all wrong, all wrong.